there anything that you can tell us, please?
I can't tell you anything, man. Is that a bullet hole? That's weird. Yeah. Police!
Niggas pop out that night like it's Batman. Beat it, talk on the news like what happened. Niggas wanna ride my wave. No, nigga, this is not motherfucking map. It in 11. Came from the jungle, this shit can get trash.
Shortly before noon on January 26, 2021, San Antonio officers arrived at the Towers Apartments on La Cantera Parkway in San Antonio, Texas, in response to a call.
San Antonio Police, this is Christy. How can I help you?
I'm in Louisiana, but I have a stepson out there in San Antonio, and family members have been trying to call him since Saturday, and we haven't been getting any response back. And we wanted to know if you guys could do a wellness check just to see if everything's okay with him.
And who are we checking on?
Martell, Martell, Deruin.
Their destination was the fourth-floor apartment of Martell Deruin, and signs of trouble emerged almost immediately.
Is that a bullet hole? That's weird. Yeah. Police!
Despite repeated knocks, there was no response from inside. The discovery of what appeared to be a bullet hole in the front door heightened the urgency, making it clear to the officers that this wasn't a situation they could just knock and leave. After several minutes of knocking with no answer, the officers retrieved a key from the building's maintenance room. Unfortunately, even with the key, they were unable to unlock the door. At this point, detectives came to a chilling realization. The door was locked from the inside, likely dead-bolted, leaving no option but to break it down. They contacted the maintenance once more, and staff began drilling through the lock to grant them access.
Beautiful.
Meanwhile,
Wouldn't it have a smell?
the officers headed to the garage to check if Martell's car was still there. Sure enough, they found it, but it looked like the car hadn't been moved in several days. This only added to the concerns his family already had, given that they hadn't heard from him in days.
Oh, no.
Martell's silence had already been suspicious, but now it felt alarming. At this point, getting into that apartment became an urgent priority. It didn't take long for the maintenance team to finally unlock the door upstairs. And as soon as the officers made their way inside, their worst fear came true. Just a mere feet from the door, the lifeless body of a man lay sprawled on the floor. A dark, dried trail of blood snaked out from his head, painting a chilling picture of the final moments. Using the description provided by his stepmother, the officers quickly identified the victim as Martell Deruin. He had died from a single gunshot wound to the forehead.
How did the lady know he was right there behind that door? He could see through the peephole, not her. How did she do that through the door?
Although the bullet appeared to have originated from outside, the crime scene told a different story, one of a violent confrontation that had unfolded within the apartment. The space was in chaos. Dishes lay shattered, furniture was overturned, and the bedroom was a mess. Further investigation revealed something startling. It seemed Martell had been involved in a struggle with a woman, as women's clothing, purses, and even a broken acrylic fingernail were found scattered throughout the apartment. While this seemed like a clue, the shocking revelations were just beginning. In the closet, detectives discovered an empty gun box. The contents suggested it had once held a 9mm semi-automatic pistol, but the gun was now missing. Then it hit the officers. Martell had likely been shot with his own weapon. This raised a disturbing possibility.
This is insane.
Whoever had killed him knew him well enough to find and use the gun. Before the officers could make further progress in the investigation,
I hope this wasn't his girlfriend cheating, breakup situation turned violent. This is disgusting.
they had to wait for the homicide detectives and the forensic team. While they were waiting, unexpectedly, someone showed up asking for Martell, someone they hadn't anticipated at all.
Hi, ma'am. Are you related to him?
Okay. I was able to get.
Huh? Then what woman was he struggling with if this his wife?
in?
Yes, ma'am. There's some officers up there, but it's best if you just stay down here right now. I'm gonna go talk to the office. Okay?
So we can't.
Tomo. he's been missing for several days and you haven't heard from him and you claim to be his wife? I was born on a Monday, not this Monday. She up to no good. You talking about you're his wife and you haven't been talking to him for a week. That's not normal for any relationship. That is not a normal relationship.
Go up there?
Not right now.
It turned out that the woman was not a random stranger, but Martel's estranged wife, Joia DeRuin, who lived nearby. She explained that she had come to check on him after not hearing from him for a few days. However, since the officers did not allow her to go upstairs, she immediately had a bad feeling that something terrible had occurred. It didn't take long for her to call Martel's parents and inform them of the situation.
Whoa.
Is there anything that you can tell us, please?
I can't tell you anything, man. I can't tell you anything yet.
He can't tell me anything right now. He says I have to wait for a detective. Martel.
When's the last time you spoke to him?
I spoke to him on Friday.
Friday?
Text message.
Okay.
And then Thursday,
She not crying in this pixelated footage.
he came over to do his hair at my apartment. I live by the dentist.
Okay. So Friday you weren't here, nobody was here, then you didn't come visit him, right?
I don't know who was here. I know he was working with people and playing music.
Okay. Okay.
Eager to piece together Martel's whereabouts, the officers began by asking Joia a few questions, as she was already present at the scene. Detectives were already suspicious of Joia, given her unexpected arrival at the scene. Her presence only raised more questions, and with growing suspicions, they decided to formally question her at the police station. As they escorted her away, the investigation continued to unfold with increasing complexity. The detectives canvassed the apartment complex, hoping to find any additional clues. Their worries deepened when they spoke to the neighbors. One, in particular, revealed crucial information that changed the direction of the investigation. Martel's downstairs neighbor, a woman who had become accustomed to the frequent arguments emanating from his apartment, had grown increasingly frustrated by the noise. On January 22, 2021, the very night Martel's family had last heard from him, the shouting had escalated once again. But this time, the neighbor had done something that was both shocking and, in a way, a blessing in disguise. Desperate to prove her case to the management, she had secretly recorded the heated argument.
Don't say anything though. She has it pointed kind of up toward the ceiling, and you hear two people arguing, a male and a female. They're arguing about, but you do hear yelling and screaming back and forth between two individuals.
While the recording didn't provide any direct evidence of a murder, it did confirm that a woman was in Martel's apartment on the day detectives believed he was killed. However, what the next neighbor shared took the investigation in an even more shocking direction. This neighbor, who lived directly across the hall from Martel, was at home that evening waiting for her food delivery. Suddenly, she heard loud banging noises outside her door. Thinking it was her delivery, she opened the door, but what she saw was far from expected. She came face to face with a skinny African-American woman standing outside of Martel's apartment.
So I remember hearing knocking, and so I opened the door, and that's when I saw the girl that I've seen maybe about 2 or 3 times, and she was just banging and banging and banging on his door. And I guess I was kind of taken aback because I wasn't sure exactly what was going on, because she was barefoot and she had nothing in her hand, and she just looked a little bit out of it, facial expression wise. Okay. So I immediately just apologized for opening the door, because I didn't want to interrupt whatever was happening, because I figured if she's banging on his door, it's probably not good. Yeah.
The neighbor's description not only matched Joia's appearance accurately, but it also made sense that a separated couple might have frequent arguments. However, to determine if Joia was truly behind her husband's murder, detectives needed to thoroughly examine her story. They began by asking about the nature of their relationship.
And what kind of relationship or marriage did you guys have?
It was great. we had a lot in common. We both loved music. I did a little music as well and things like that.
Music?
Towards the end, I would say the last 2 years is kind of when it got rocky. I don't know, sometimes they can get a little mean and stuff.
Joia admitted that before their separation, things between them had gotten heated. However, the reason for their conflicts, she stated, was even more concerning. It was Martel's own lifestyle.
What was he
With
doing?
the music stuff, I really didn't like some of the people that he worked with. Kind of shady. You know, a lot of times what happens is people get in beefs about music and then they flash and stuff, which I told him not, don't do that. He did purchase a gun. And I told him that when we were together, I never wanted a gun in the house.
What type of gun was it?
It wasn't just like a handgun. I don't know. And the one thing that I told him is like, don't be showing it on Instagram. Don't be doing all that flashy stuff.
Oh, I've seen it. I already saw it.
Yeah.
Although Joia remained their prime suspect, her point held some validity. As a rap star, Martel's lifestyle often involved flashy displays.
Okay, let's not generalize every single rapper now. As a rap star, that means he's flat. We don't know what that means. We ain't hear his whack-ass music. We ain't hear it. We don't hear her.
Are you a lot on Instagram or?
He may have, but I know one thing that he did was he liked a lot of jewelry.
Okay. Obviously he's flashing. He's doing some of that stuff on Instagram.
He's always been flashy and cocky.
And cocky.
In addition to posting pictures with guns and expensive items on Instagram, Martel had other ways of flaunting his street life. Some of his lyrics included themes of violence and death, which was especially concerning given the troubling number of tragic murders within the rap community over the years. However, before detectives could focus more on the robbery theory, one shocking piece of evidence brought their attention right back to Joia. While reviewing the list of 9/11 calls from January 22, 2021, detectives made a startling discovery. On that day, there was a call for a welfare check, and it came from none other than Joia. This was a call Joia had not yet mentioned to the detectives.
Why?
I need police now.
Okay, and your name?
My name is Joia Duran.
Okay, what's going on?
I'm trying to get in my apartment, but I'm not able to get in. And I see like I'm just not able to get in, and I think my husband is injured.
Spell the first name?
Joia, Joia.
Okay, and your husband's name?
Martel.
Last name?
Deron, Deroun.
Your husband's hurt?
Yes.
Do you hear him?
No, he's not responding, and I called him, and he's just not responding. And there's a hole in his door, and I don't know what's going on, honestly.
There's a hole in the door?
Yes.
Detectives were stunned to realize there had been an opportunity to check on Martel earlier, possibly right after the incident.
And why didn't they check on him? Why didn't the police do their job after that? I'm confused. Why didn't they look? Why didn't they go check that out? What is happening?
This new revelation raised even more questions. What was Joia trying to hide? And
What were the police not doing their job for? I just want to know that. Why this should have happened time ago.
And more importantly, what had kept the police from acting on that concerning 911 call? It turned out the address Joia had given them wasn't Martel's apartment at all. In fact, when officers responded to the call, they arrived at a building that wasn't even finished yet. And that wasn't the only odd thing about Joia. She had also misspelled both her first and last name. As detectives tried to figure out why Joia had given them the wrong address and botched her own name, their next shocking discovery provided a crucial clue. One of the neighbors in the apartment complex had a Ring camera outside his door. What the camera captured on the evening of January 22nd was nothing short of astonishing.
Chat, y'all gotta pay y'all Ring bill to keep saving that footage. That thing be crucial, chat. Make sure y'all Ring cameras got saved footage. You don't know what it's gonna catch.
Just before the 911 call came in, the camera recorded a loud pop, likely a gunshot. A few moments later, it captured a skinny African-American woman walking down the corridor, holding a cell phone in one hand and a gun in the other. However, the most shocking part was that the woman in the footage wasn't Joia. It was someone else entirely. Confused, detectives reached out to Joia, who was still in the interrogation room, hoping she might recognize the woman. And much to their relief, she did.
Do you remember any of the people that he kind of hung out with during that rap group?
No, I only know of one person, and that was the girl I sent the picture to, the detective.
What's that girl's name?
It's Sasha.
Is it S-A?
I don't like the editors of this video. They really made it seem like the viewer should be pointing all fingers at Joia. Why didn't she check on him sooner? Why did she get a wrong name? Why she gave a wrong address? Come to find out, it ain't even her at the door. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Who did this? Y'all are manipulative. Damn this editor.
S-H-A?
Last name Skare, S-K-A-R-E.
S-K-A-R-E. Let me see. So this is her?
That's her.
21-year-old Sasha Skare was an aspiring and talented musician who had recently spent a great deal of time with Martel, even appearing in several of his music videos.
Sasha, she had a lot of potential. You can see from her shows. She checked all the boxes, you know? As far as the music, the talent, the persona, she was pretty much the whole package.
Her presence in Martel's life, however, seemed to be more than just professional collaboration. They had a much more intimate relationship.
Oh, that's weird.
And I believe that's who he was currently seeing now, since we've been separated.
So why do you believe that he was seeing her?
She messaged me on Instagram, just kind of alluding to the fact that she wanted to ask me about the relationship that we had, me with him. And I was like, yeah, what can I help you with? And then she never said anything after that. But I guess she was wanting to find out, why we separated, or,
if there was any still kind of feelings between y'all two.
Exactly. And the reason I say that about the Instagram is because there's pictures of her at his place, sitting on his car and, just different things like that.
Joia shared that even though she and Martel were no longer together, they maintained a friendly relationship and were open with each other.
That's beautiful.
Because of this, Martel didn't hesitate to tell her about his romantic involvement with Sasha. He also opened up about how his relationship with Sasha was pretty unstable. Martel felt disrespected by Sasha repeatedly, especially when she invited people over to his house and did things on his property without his permission.
That's crazy.
Joia backed up her story with some angry text messages Martel had sent to Sasha. However, she also mentioned how Martel was always willing to support Sasha in building her career. Little did he know, a grim fate was already closing in on him.
In the beginning, it was more of a teacher-student type relationship where he was trying to develop her music and all that stuff like that.
Sound like he was developing something else with her.
Was she a singer, or was she just some kind of like a promoter?
We don't care.
His relationship with her.
He would just tell me that, I want to, continue working with her and doing the music and stuff like that.
And it was very telling. He explained to her he was upset because she was bringing other men around. He didn't like that, and he had asked her to stop, but she kept doing it. And he confronted her about it, and we think that's what started this big fight between the two of them.
Based on the text messages, detectives pieced together what likely happened between Sasha and Martel on January 22nd, 2021. They believe that on that day, Sasha and Martel had a heated argument that escalated. At some point, Sasha managed to grab his gun and left his apartment, but Martel locked the door behind her. She left her belongings inside, which is why she was banging on the door, trying to get back in. Meanwhile, Martel told her that she needed to get his gun to retrieve her things.
He tells her, I had to defend myself. You attacked me, I had to get you out of here. But you need to bring my gun back.
How would she have gotten the gun if he was using what?
Retrieve her things.
He tells her, I had to defend myself. You attacked me, I had to get you out of here. But you need to bring my gun back.
But unfortunately, the argument escalated to a point where Sasha shot him through the door, ultimately ending his life.
her opportunity there is to leave or call 911, but she didn't do that. Instead she fired a gun into the door while he's standing on the other side and then fled. Sasha Scar was our suspect and we needed to find her.
Meanwhile, detectives discovered more evidence that shed light on the situation.
The autopsy was performed on Mr. DeRuin. A projectile was recovered from Martel and was confirmed to be a 9mm, which is the same caliber as the gun that was missing from Martel's apartment.
Convinced that Sasha was the only one responsible for Martel's death, detectives obtained an arrest warrant but quickly hit another roadblock. When they tracked down Sasha's address and arrived to arrest her, she was nowhere to be found. It didn't take long for them to realize Sasha was on the run. Time was running out, and with every passing moment, Sasha was slipping further from their grasp. The investigation had taken a dangerous turn, as with the gun in her possession, she could potentially hurt someone else too.
So I get in touch with the U.S. Marshal Service, who then starts their manhunt. So we're actively now searching for Sasha with an active warrant for murder.
As the police frantically searched for Sasha's whereabouts, another shocking twist came to light. This wasn't her first violent offense. In November 2019, Sasha was involved in a botched drug deal that resulted in the death of her then-boyfriend, Andrew Bass. She was charged with aggravated robbery and assault with a deadly weapon.
Anybody she's sleeping with die. Oh my God.
And was out on bond when Martel was killed. The case grabbed major media attention, especially since Martel was the
What they got to do with Beyonce?
cousin of global superstar Beyonce. Yeah, attention, especially since Martel was the cousin of global superstar Beyonce.
What are the odds of that?
This only added to the pressure on the investigators to find answers. For 2 long weeks, Sasha had remained under the radar, evading capture. But eventually, she made a choice that stunned everyone. She turned herself in. In her words, it was because she wanted to face the situation head on.
After I seen the news and everybody telling me, you're wanted, I realized that I was wanted for murder. I called my lawyer, and my lawyer just walked me through, like, as far as the process would go, just run away from everything. Like, I have to deal with this because I have a family.
After charging her with murder.
Chat, would she have gotten y'all? Would she have gotten to y'all? Because y'all keep saying she looked good or what. That lets me know she would have been able to hurt any of you guys, chat, and I'm sad to hear that. She would have got your ass. Sasha can get it. You would have got it. Trust me. You would have got it. The only person getting anything is you. You would have got something your damn self. Oh my goodness. He said I would be dead. Oh, I'm already knowing, chat. I'm already knowing. Y'all was going.
I went to interview Sasha Scar at the jail. She seemed exhausted.
However, detectives were still eager to hear Sasha's side of the story. But when they went to speak with her inside the jail, she refused to cooperate.
Can you identify yourself, your full name, birthday for me?
Sasha Scar.
Thank you, ma'am. Can I just call you Sasha? Okay. Before we get started, Sasha, because you are here in custody, I need to advise you of your rights, okay? The reason I'm here is to give you an opportunity to give your side of the story of what happened, okay? You be willing to do that?
Not without my lawyer present.
Okay. Don't we understand that part now, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off. Give me 1 second.
Although Sasha remained silent, the evidence spoke for itself. Detectives collected her DNA sample, which was later matched with the acrylic nail found at the scene. With this critical piece of evidence, Sasha was charged with premeditated first-degree murder, as detectives believed she had intentionally set out to kill Martel. Sasha Scar's trial began on August 23, 2023, more than 2 years after Martel was brutally murdered. Just before the trial, she had rejected a plea deal that would have given her a 20-year sentence. Now with the trial underway, the stakes were much higher. If convicted, she faced the maximum penalty, which was life imprisonment. Sasha took the stand in her own defense.
Excuse me? That's a bold strategy.
claiming that the two had gotten into a fight while she was on the phone with a videographer. She said that Martel became furious when he saw her talking to another man. According to Sasha, when he started hitting her, she fought back, trying to get him off of her. She claimed that when she finally managed to break free, her first instinct was to grab the gun.
After you grabbed the weapon, the gun, what happened next?
I told him, don't touch me. I started backing up out of the bedroom. When I backed up out of the bedroom, he started following me.
Makes sense.
I started grabbing dishes out of the cabinets and throwing it in
It matches the story.
between us.
Sasha further testified that after running out the door with the gun, she realized her belongings were still inside and decided to go back to retrieve them. She claimed that while banging on the locked apartment door with the gun in hand, it accidentally went off, resulting in Martel's death.
And did you know he was standing behind the door?
No, sir, I didn't.
After the gun goes off, what happened next?
That's when I ended up calling the police.
However, she still had to explain why she called 911, pretending to be Martel's wife instead of giving her own name.
Why did you give a false name in the 911?
At that time, I really wasn't in the right mind, and I'm not really used to calling the police.
Yo, she lying. Oh, she crazy.
So I felt like
She shot him on purpose. Somebody I was banging. Nah, you were popping.
since that was his wife, I just felt like I should, I guess, present myself as her.
Sasha claimed that she had disposed of the gun in a nearby dumpster, but when police searched all the nearby dumpsters, they didn't find it. Although none of Sasha's explanations held up to scrutiny by the prosecution, she remained adamant that she never intended to kill Martel DeRuin.
Miss Carter, when you fired that shot, did you know Martel was behind that door?
No, sir, I didn't.
Did you mean to hurt Martel?
Not at all.
Of course you're gonna say that. You're trying not to go to jail for life.
Tell the story. What was your intent when that gun fired?
Her present girlfriend is a feeder. What does that even mean? When you go to jail, you eat things like cup of noodles, and they heavy on carbs. That's how a lot of people gain weight. So that's why she gained so much weight.
I guess my intent was just to get his attention.
So when he wanted you to leave, why not just get out?
Because not only was I intoxicated, he had brought me there, and that was the second time he had did the same thing, as far as bringing me to his place and then all of a sudden just asking me to leave.
Contrary to Sasha's claims of Martel being an abusive man, his family members, including his estranged wife Joia, testified that Martel had never been physically violent with any of them. In their closing statement, the prosecution argued that Sasha's version of events didn't align with much of the evidence found at the scene.
They have her demonstrate how the gun went off. But if you look at the door from Martel's apartment, the bullet hole is directly straight into the doorway.
Yeah.
And so that just doesn't line up forensically. She had said she jumped over a counter. The prosecutors took a photo on the counter. It's not a very big counter, our bowls. He's like, how did none of these bowls move?
Eventually, after just over 2 hours of deliberations, the jury found Sasha Scar guilty of all charges. Before sentencing, under Texas law, the jury was required to hear from the victim's family members to help determine the appropriate punishment. One by one, Martel's family members shared their heart-wrenching pain and how his death had profoundly impacted their lives, making the courtroom filled with emotion.
Well, I can't. Every day it's very hard. I haven't slept in a very long time. It's just, as a mother, to lose a son and to lose him that way, it's unimaginable, and I wouldn't wish that on anybody, nobody, ever.
Chat, shut up. Why the first comment I read is put Sasha fine ass under the jail? Why are you adding that in?
I do
have some type of hurt in my heart because I feel like if we would
Do both women got the same voice?
have never broken up, this would have never happened.
Sasha, the pain and agony that you brought upon my family is unbearable. You deserve every single consequence that you caused from your own actions.
Ultimately, on September 1st, 2023, 24-year-old Sasha Scar was sentenced to 55 years in prison. She will be eligible for parole in 2048. Despite her conviction, Sasha continues to maintain that she never intended to kill Martel.
I still don't know how you perfectly headshot somebody through a door, so I can't say she meant to kill him, but that's insane. She definitely meant to shoot through that door.
I didn't intend to actually shoot him and kill him, you know, because, you know, he was my friend. Why would you want that to happen to somebody you were close with?
Before we conclude, we extend our deepest condolences to Martel's loved ones. To the music industry, his death was a significant loss, a loss of someone who, despite being related to a global superstar, never sought to boast about it and was determined to make it big on his own. But for his family, the loss was even greater, as they now face a life without him, one that can never return to what it once was.
We still grieve over him every day. We always celebrate his birthday as if he was still here. We'll go visit him.
The only solace is that although he is gone, his music will live on forever. What could have happened inside the apartment that day? Do you believe Sasha's claims of it being an accident?
Nah. She meant to shoot through that door. I guarantee she ain't mean to, like, kill him with it. She probably wanted to wound him. Because there's no way you expect to headshot somebody through a door. She is not trained Marines to even know where to aim through a door to hit a target. It ain't like she could see him through the door. I don't know. React to some food. You just hungry. Shut up. He worrying about some goddamn food reactions. I never heard nobody ask for food reactions. You just a